The other day I was in this gym. It was like a week ago. I was in Sydney and I was talking to these guys. So I'd gone to the sauna, I'd started a conversation and they'd gone to one of a school that I went to for a few months and I could see like the logo on their shorts. So I pointed it out. I started a conversation and we had a chat about like they asked where I was from and I said I was from Hong Kong. And it turned out that they had some other friends from Hong Kong. I was like, oh, what's their names? And they said a couple names. I was like, oh, you know that guy? He's my friend. So this guy that I'd known from Hong Kong, he apparently, like, I didn't even realize that he went to school in my old school in Sydney. And so I just met these guys who knew him. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That day, I met a bunch of people. I had a good time. I met up with some friends. It was genuinely a good experience. And what I learned is that this was when I had some hobbies. Because let me tell you a different story. A few years ago, actually quite a long time ago, I was in the Sydney in my exact same house, but I wasn't going to a gym consistently. I wasn't leaving my house, and the only thing I would leave my house for was like food, or to go play tennis with my dad. And I literally had no life there. I didn't have a single friend that I was maybe caught up with like 2 or 3 people over 2 months, but I caught up with way more people in just like half a week this time. And the thing that had changed, like, I'd gotten some fucking hobbies. And I swear, like, everyone's like, oh, what's your hobbies? You know, like, I think it's actually important. You have to have some things you like. You can have the weirdest fucking hobbies too. Because some of my friends are just mad into fashion and clothes shopping and, like, selling shoes, entrepreneurship. Like, there's a fuck ton of cool hobbies, but I don't know what you're doing with your life at this point if you don't have anything you're interested in, like boxing, going to the gym counts. That's a fucking hobby. I don't give a shit. That's a hobby. You connect with other people with the same hobbies as you. If you're going to a boxing gym and you love boxing, you're going to connect with all these other people who love boxing. It's just the way it is. And so by the end of this video, I want to make it clear to you what the key to making better friends is. But the first step to this key, well, fucking subscribe and follow my Instagram. But the first step to making some better friends, the key, is fucking signing up. Because I'm in this exact same situation with you nearly. I'm in a tough circumstance, but that's no fucking excuse for me to not be going to the boxing gym. And I'm signing up, I'm going on Tuesday. If I don't, I'm a fucking pussy. And I think that you would be too if you didn't sign up for something you wanted to do. Even if you don't know what your interests are, just try something. Let's just say you're really lonely, you don't have good friends. You keep on that path. If you don't change anything, nothing's gonna change. You need something to change so that you can make better friends. And I think that you just need to sign up to some random fucking club. I used to be really into chess. And going to chess tournaments, I would meet people who are also into chess. That was a perfect opportunity to meet people. Now, I think that once you get to any of these environments, you've signed up to something, the next most important thing you need to do is you need to not be stressed out. Because the thing that I've learned is that so let me tell you the story, right? I was in class and this was like 2 days after my class found my YouTube channel, like my whole year level found it. And this girl, like, she moved next to me. We were working in a group for something. My channel is about, loneliness, making better friends, holding conversations. And everybody, when she sat down, they were all like, oh, yo, hold this guy, like conversation starters. And they put a fuck ton of pressure on me. I still managed to hold like a conversation, but I was stressed out. I was stuttering a lot. It was like all this pressure on me. It was making this conversation that normally would have been easy, really difficult. And I realized that when you're stressed out or you're worried about some kind of outcome, you're never going to have as good conversations as when you're not stressed out. And here's the key. This is the key, not being stressed out when you're talking to people. I want to tell you a story. A week ago, I was with my friend and we were going out, we were planning to watch a movie, but we ended up missing the movie because we were outside on the bench having a chat. And this other, like some random guy on the street had like a long conversation, half an hour with us. And we were genuinely enjoying his company and everything. And we were walking a bit more and my friend was like, she saw these 3 girls in a group. She's like, oh, let's go up to them. I was like, yeah, all right, let's go. What do you want to say? Like, she's just like, she went up to them. She was like, oh, I really love your jeans. And they complimented her. And we just both introduced ourselves. I was having a good chat with them. Like, I was speaking a bit, but there wasn't that much to say. I didn't really know these guys. And every few minutes I was speaking a decent bit for some parts, but every now and then, I would just go completely silent and I would lock eyes with this one girl. I just smile, wouldn't say anything. And she'd just like break away from the eye contact. And what I realized is I wasn't putting any pressure on myself to go, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," like to try and like stop the awkwardness by starting a new conversation or coming up with something new to speak about. I was just letting it go, smiling, enjoying the moment, not stressing myself out, not putting pressure on myself. And I had a great chat with these guys, followed them on Instagram, and wished them a good night. We held a nice long conversation afterwards. The reason I'm telling this story is because if I wasn't fine with that conversation going silent every now and then I would have been putting so much pressure on myself to talk the entire time, and what would have came out of my mouth would have been bullshit, and I wouldn't have presented myself in a good way. You know, some of the most social people don't speak as much as you think. Or honestly, the times where I'm the most social at like a party is when I'm not stressed out at all. I'm in my element, like I know that everyone likes me and I don't have any pressure to talk the whole time. And that's when I cook. So on Saturday, I went out with a couple of my friends and we had a good time. And something I realized is I was with 3 mates, so a lot of the time I hang out one-on-one with people. But to this time we were with a big group and I realized like there's no pressure for me to talk the whole time because that guy's speaking and that guy's speaking. Anyways, my advice is that you need to be in a group because it's so much easier hang out with a group than one person, because when you're hanging out with just one person, there's so much more pressure on you to hold a conversation. Last night I went out, and right before I went out, I was really feeling it. As I was walking in, you know, I was starting to get like a tiny bit shy, but I was reminding myself in my head like all these people rate you, like you're a social guy, you've got so many good people. And something that I'm really confident and like happy about is I have a lot of really good friends who like back me, like really good people. And that confidence is what I needed for me to walk in, start conversations with as many people as I did last night, meet so many new mates. I had a really good time, and that was only because right before I came in, I was literally thinking about like a bunch of my past experiences, a bunch of people that really liked me, and that made me confident. And you need your thing that makes you confident. You might really be good at sports, so when you're out with your friends, or you might be good at calisthenics, you do some like fucking planche or some shit. If that's what you're confident about and you do it around people, people will respect the fuck out of that. Honestly, one of the biggest things that I've learned is when you're out with G's, like, it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna be social. I remember my friend and I think he was struggling with social anxiety a bit, and he'd been working on it, getting like some good improvement. But we went out on one night together. I brought him out. It's fucking crazy because he was like talking to people. I could tell from the start of the night he was like the tiniest bit shy, or with some people when he was starting to meet new people, he wasn't like as confident. But as the night progressed, he started conversations with so many fucking new people. I don't want to get into any details, but he had a good time. I hate to be a bit egotistical, but he went out with a guy who was like talking to everybody, really sociable. And I backed him fully. Like there was no pressure on him to do well or not. If you hang out with somebody like me, and I bring you on like a night out, you're gonna have a fucking good time, especially if I'm in an environment where I already have friends there. You're definitely gonna have a fucking good time with me because I'm gonna introduce you to everyone, be a nice person, have a laugh, genuinely try and enjoy my time as much as possible, give you any advice if you like. I give my mates advice sometimes. You know, a lot of them don't really need it at all, but I remember this one guy, I think I said something to this guy who I was hanging out with on the night of like, say this, just like, yo, relax, don't worry about it, or just like small things. Just find that guy for yourself. Sometimes it just takes one guy to introduce you to a bunch of good people and you have an amazing group of friends. Hey, subscribe, follow my Instagram. Have a great day, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and if you need my personal help, like if you want any advice, message me. I got you. I fully got you. Thanks for watching.